Convo by Design with Chris Denson, innovation expert. And first thing I wanted to ask you about was Innovation Crush, the podcast. When did you start that?
Innovation Crush, I started about 3 years ago. It was a very selfish effort at first. Not too selfish. I was talking to a lot of companies about like innovation agendas. You guys should have like innovation as part of your your livelihood and as part of your lifeblood inside the company. And they were like, what? And I was like, I know a ton of people who are doing this type of work and thinking, really smartly and reimagining the future, an immediate or distant future of how we live, work, and play. And so I just wanted to continue to tell those stories and, hopefully inform brands and individuals and so on and so forth about the design thinking that goes into the spirit of innovation.
It's interesting because you're from Detroit, and I read something that you wrote basically saying, when you moved to LA from Detroit, you had some preconceived notions. You had some ideas moving here. You also said something interesting that Detroit is all about glitz and LA is all about grit, yes. and LA kind of has this sort of laid back cool factor, which it definitely does. I'm just curious, what was the expectation when you came out here? What did you find? And now that you've been out here for a while, what's changed?
Well, for starters, I wasn't as funny as I thought I was because I moved out here to do stand-up comedy.
Did you?
Yeah,
okay.
I did. And I was like, I'm going to move to Hollywood. And it was kind of like a space that I landed in. I had one friend from college who lived here, and my first trip down Hollywood Boulevard was not what you see on TV.
You got to see some grit, didn't you?
I got to see some grit. And I think that change in perception maybe it unlocks something, or at the very least, you start to let go of, the stories we tell ourselves, whether we're brands, whether we're individuals. It's like we tell the same story over and over again, and, sometimes it's inaccurate, and we believe it, and that's what we respond to, and that's how we go about creating the things that we create. And I think once you let go of constructs, right, and I think it's the same thing with Detroit, right? For years it was destruction porn. And it was, hey, here are all the bad things and the abandoned buildings and people are moving. But most people who've been to Detroit are like, it's actually a pretty cool city, and it's just like these perceptions versus reality, kind of play an interesting role in how we think about things.